Thanks for volunteering to do this interview for us. Start off with, tell us about your work.
Sure, Anand. I work with an international NGO which closely works with rescue and rehabilitation of victims of sex trafficking. So, as a part of their work, they are involved in rescue operations of minor girls who are trapped in this trafficking network. They also do legal proceedings where they bring the perpetrators to justice and, the victims to justice and punish the perpetrators. And the team is also involved in rehabilitation. So the team I'm part of works closely with the aftercare of these victims. So we do a series of work, say, for example, counseling, trauma counseling for these victims. We help them come out through this entire journey. We help them with their restoration, with their families, or even their building up their future. So that's my work in a gist.
Thanks, Sherien. What a joy to even just hear that. And thank God, the NGO that you're working for. Thank God for the work that they're doing. Thank God for the work you are doing. How do you see your work connect with God's plan for creation and for humanity?
So when I was thinking about this question, the part about my work screams out brokenness. The part about my work screams out ugliness. And when I was just going through this question, I was thinking, how is it that connects with the originality? And I couldn't help but think about this example of God as an artist who has designed things so beautifully, who has taken so much time and so much thought into creating everything around. And people, or we as a viewer or spectator of the art, when we don't know the artist, we don't know the story behind that art, and we can discard or damage the art way easily if we do not know the artist. So I believe the work we do, we see people discarding or breaking the creation of God. And in our journey, this work helps us to restore that and rebuild alongside God. So that's how I see this.
Thanks, Sherien. Restoring the image of God in men and women that have been lost. Thank you. You started off talking by brokenness, and in the line of work, you see the brokenness is just all too obvious. Let me still ask that question. How is, I mean, you can see the brokenness of the world in your line of work. That's pretty obvious. But how is your work helping you see your own brokenness too?
Yes, Anand. So as I said, the work shows of brokenness of everyone around me, even myself. And one of the things which I thought when I interact with a victim who has been groomed in a certain way to see beauty, who has been groomed or prepared in a certain way to think, to act, to pursue beauty, whether beauty in physical sense, beauty in material sense, beauty in relationship, beauty through money. I was thinking it just mirrors my heart also, this chase of beauty, beauty to find a place in today's world, beauty to find meaning in relationship. And deep down, I could connect with those victims and myself, saying that we both know the ugliness of our heart, and somewhere to hide that ugliness, we are just chasing behind that beauty. And there's an endless chase to find that beauty, and it will not be found in us or around us. It will only be found through God. So I think that has just spotlighted the brokenness inside of me.
That's pretty profound, Sherien. I don't know if you realized it, but the last couple of minutes, you just changed and you just challenged human thinking about beauty for centuries. You really challenged, you made us think and consider what beauty really is. That's quite something. Thank you for that. Could you share a recent example in your line of work? How has the gospel made you a better worker?
Sure, Anand. I would say the community has helped me really to see how work has been God's intention for mankind. And if I may rephrase you and quote you, you said, we do not work to attain man's praises, but we do work as to glory of God. So I think it took a while because one of my brokenness or one of my flaws at work is I constantly work towards praise. I constantly work to get approval from my boss. And my intensity of work or the quality of work depends on if my boss is going to see it directly. So I tend to do a better job if my boss is going to review it. So a few, say, some time back, I had to take up a task. It was one of our clients who was living in the red light area, and she had a daughter, uh, young girl, 6 years old, and she had a very abusive partner. So this partner would come and abuse the wife as well as the child. And she reached out to our NGO, and our team was involved in restoring that child to a safe home, to a shelter home. And the task was assigned to somebody who was reporting to me, and she was on leave, so I was supposed to take it up. And me, with all my flaws, I was hesitant to take it up because it required a lot of paperwork. It required me to go to and fro, interview the child, the woman, and a lot of process. And definitely at the end of the job, there was no credit because it was not my job and I still had to do it. Yet with a cribbing heart, I went. I did the work. We went, we got the girl, we took her to the home. A few months back, one of my ex colleagues happened to call me and said, "There's this young child who kept talking about you and how you have helped her. And would you like to video call?" And she did a video call with the child. And this little girl had grown up and she looked at me with all this smile and she's like, "How are you? Remember, we had that train journey. You played this game with me in the train and all that." And in that moment after the call, I realized I always look towards praises of people, forgetting how much of a blessing God intends or uses you as a channel for blessing in others' life. And I think it really helped me to see my work is not just merely an appraisal or a praise from my boss or a good work from my team, but it goes beyond that. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sherien. Even as you were sharing, I was imagining the joy you experienced when this girl video called you. But I was also imagining the joy you'll experience and this girl's experience when the day comes when we see Christ face to face. The joy we'll all see when he applauds us being faithful. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the next question is it seems silly to ask you the question given the line of work and given everything that you've been doing. So I'm going to rephrase it a little bit. The original question would have been, how are you able to love and serve others through your work, obviously. But I'm going to change, sorry, but I just, just listening to you. How can we pray for you, Sherien? As you work in the front line, it's not just you, there are others working in the similar spaces. Traffic women is something that New City is very deeply committed to, and there are so many others in our church who serve. I know Zena works in the same organization, there are others as well. So how can we pray for you as you work in the front line?
Sure. I think it takes a miracle to see these brokenness being restored. I think things we take for granted, like respect or being a part of a functional family or seeing our children grow up into becoming a responsible citizen, things like these are such a miracle for women who come from such broken backgrounds. So I think we can just pray for those miracles, like though it looks so far-fetched for them, let that miracle take place in each of their lives. Like let them experience what restoration truly means. Let them know what beauty truly means in every sense, and let them know their creator didn't make them to be discarded or destroyed, but their creator made them to be restored. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sherien. Thank you. The last question, how do you connect your work here and now with God's perfect plan in the age to come?
Wow. I always thought New Heaven and Earth would be eat, pray, party in repeat mode. But then I was a little disappointed when I hear it would be work. But on a very serious note, I think the conversations I have with some of my clients or the victims is of total hopelessness. My heart and her heart grieves when we talk about her past and what she has gone through. And when we together even look to the future, I don't experience any hope in her situation because I see her through this brokenness. I see her journeying through this, and it's really hard to experience that. And my heart grieves. The conversation makes me really sad, and I'm sure it makes her also sad. But I can't wait for the day in eternity where I will be sitting across her and we would just talk about beauty. And that time, the beauty will not be centered on us, it will be beauty of our Christ. And I just can't wait for that day, really.
Thank you, Sherien. I wish I didn't have to preach right after. I would just love a couple of minutes to just pause and reflect and savor everything that you just said. Thank you. And as we celebrate your work, I also want to remember there's so many of us who are working in the development sector, serving the poor in different capacities. And I just want to tell all of you that we're grateful, we're proud of the work that each of you are doing. And may God bless you and make you fruitful. And may He bless the work of your hands so that people may be blessed.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sherien.